Hello everybody! So welcome to this latest video. As you see, we've got this picture of a skull, like X-ray. And this is actually for an album cover, or like, not an album cover, but a cover art design for a song. And yeah, I already came up with this concept in my sketchbook, and now I'm trying to realize it, just in like a kind of draft format. So I've got my layer 1, which I want to look like the background of an X-ray. So I've got it black. Layer 2 is gonna actually have the skull on it. And at this point, I'm doing like a semi-finished version of it. Like this song is called Juice. I will put links in the description once it's been released and everything. I was asked if I wanted to be a part of making some artwork for this song. I listened to the song and the lyrics a lot to try and get inspired by it. And I wanted to do this. And like, I'll talk about my kind of reasoning behind some of the concepts and everything. So here I'm doing just the main part of the skull, and I literally just eye dropped that color from the actual photograph. And I want to recreate my own. As you know, you can go on websites. There's like 123RF. There's like websites where you could purchase photographs. I'm not going for that vibe. I have used photographs that I've paid for the rights to use in certain work, but this isn't what I'm trying to do for this one. So this is just freehand. I'm using my mouse and the pencil tool just to kind of get a rough look of that photograph. And at this point, I'm just trying to see if I can make it work how I wanted it to. I had this idea of having this X-ray like style, which is kind of eerie but not super creepy. It's like literally looking at something on a microscopic level, which when you listen to the lyrics of the song, it fit in. It's kind of, there's something inhuman about it. Like, it's quite strange to see someone's head and neck like that, but yet it is like a human. I just thought it could look cool, like the high contrast with like the blacks and the whites, and like this image itself is kind of cool, like seeing X-rays, but also really make a nod to the actual song. So I'm just drawing pretty freehand here. I'm not using a drawing tablet or anything, but this is not going to be the final version. Now, I'm going to go through a couple of steps that you guys wouldn't have seen me do, but I have done at this point. So at this point, I've already had multiple conversations with the person who asked me to do this. They are already aware of the concept. They've already given a sign-off to pursuing this. I've already done doodles, notes, and like put some thought into the development of this just in my sketchbook, pencils and pens. And I've got the go-ahead, like I said, and this is just a draft visual of this. So say at this stage, we've both said, we like this concept, we want to see how it works. I'm not trying to put hours and hours and hours into this. I want to put a reasonable amount of time into this, and then I basically want to go from there and see how it works. So after I finish this, I would show it to the client, get more feedback. I'd also, try and make it work the best I could. At this stage, you might also find your idea isn't working out well, it's not achieving what it's supposed to achieve, and you might yourself actually decide, hey, let's explore other options. This isn't the only idea I came up with. I came up with 2 other ideas in my sketchbook, which I also shared with the client. This one I expressed, I think, could be the most successful. They agreed on this, but I think it's important to give options. Don't give your clients too many options, because if you do that, you could confuse them. You could both lose sight of the point. And it's just important to be communicating clearly with each other. So here now we kind of have the bones, of the design. And, we're getting to the point where it's recognizable. And yeah, I think it can work. I've tried a couple of different transparencies. I've eye dropped it. I've lowered the opacity here on the neck, because as you see in the photograph, there's a bit of a translucent kind of neck shape, and then you could see the spine bones, which I'm drawing right here. And yeah, I mean, this isn't the finish. This isn't like the kind of refinement I want for the final with this design. So what I mean is, there's nothing wrong with this style, this kind of cartoony style, this kind of these shapes, but personally, I would be wanting more detail in this. And that's just like, I think, my preference. And the thing is, with the feedback thing again, it's good and it's very important to get that feedback and see how the client is feeling. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to skip ahead, and we're basically going to look at some of this as it progresses forward. So we filled in some of these spaces, and yeah, I think it's like recognizable as a skeleton, and it actually does have its own cool look going on. And really, it's just about refining this going forward. Now is where I want to start developing other parts of this concept. So yeah, the main thing about this is that it's supposed to look like an X-ray, but that is not where this concept ends. And we're gonna have a direct nod to the word juice. So yeah, I'm just trying to tweak it a bit. Really, I mean, I don't have to do all these little things, but I think it's a good idea to. I would say you really want to give the client the best visual of what the end result will look like as possible. And you may end up building from your draft. I mean, if your draft is good enough, or even if the client and you think, hey, actually, we like this style, we like the direction of this, sometimes it's good just to put that little extra effort just to make sure it's all working out. Like I'm doing here, I'm okay, I could see the skull actually would come out a little bit more. So I just pulled it to the left a bit, because the time for just giving them a very rough visual was sketchbook doodle, sharing that kind of stuff. Now you want them to really be able to envision exactly what to expect for the final one. Just, if anything, the final one to be more refined and more polished. So I'm making a new layer now, and this one is going to be called Real X-ray. And this is because I want to keep these sources that I used, but I don't want them to start cluttering my workspace. How you do your layers can make it a lot easier for you. This layer I'm calling Juice, because this is actually going to feature the next element in this image. Here we're going to have the layer for text, because it's at least going to have the title of a song and probably the name of the artist as well. So we got the old pencil tool out again. And you know, this is a really useful tool because you could draw with it, then you could mold it and tweak it to your liking. So here I'm drawing like this juice liquid going kind of down the neck. And really, guys, I didn't know what this would look like on an x-ray or even if it would show up. So before this, I had looked up videos, and there was like these little clips of someone like drinking juice. And this is all when I was thinking these ideas, and I thought of like, oh, what if we see the actual scan, this x-ray, drinking juice. And I wasn't sure if that was realistic or not. I wasn't even sure. It didn't have to be, but I wanted to see what it would look like. So I did this. Yeah, I'm trying different colors. So this is where the creativity kind of is surpassing the realism. In the videos, it was just this dark form, distorted form, which did look quite like this shape, but it was just black, you know. So here we got the first one, and you know, I'm toying around with it, and I'm kind of wondering if I want to keep it this way or not. So what I do is I copy it, and I basically make sure I could try a different version. I still want to keep this shape, but I might not want to keep this color version of it. In my original notes, I did try the flag colors. I also wrote multicolor, plain color. So yeah, it's just trying to see what works the best. So guys, here we are now. I've done this multicolored juice. I've put a lot of different colors, and that's where I'm going to leave it for now. And now I want to work on the text. So we're definitely going to have the title juice. And now it's about picking a suitable font, you know. This is kind of like retro. I'll see what color it should be. If it should be plain colors or maybe like a color each, maybe linking it to the colors that are in the throat. So that's what we're gonna give a go first. But you know, you have to think of the tone of the song as well. And like, I have the song like currently running in my head because I know what it sounds like. I know you guys don't. Like I said, I'll put the link in the description once it is available. But you know, this is a trial and error thing. This isn't the kind of thing I usually discuss with clients. I usually don't discuss like, you know, font choices unless it's a part of their brand identity already and they consistently use a font. I usually choose it. I usually would be like, oh, what do I think will work with this? You know, this is a cool font. It's very stylized, but it's not necessarily the end goal. It's good to see it, and like, you know, the frustrating thing at this point is like, you can make all of this imagery, and then when you put in a font, you're putting in a whole new element, and like that one's not working for me. As you see, I copy and pasted it though because it's good for me to be able to compare them. So I have this skull, I could get that working. I could get the juice in the throat working, but then I could put in this new font and it could completely set it off balance. So this is why now it's important to try out some different fonts. I will give you guys a warning right here and now that you can quite easily get stuck in just searching for new fonts and trying font after font after font, and I tell you right now, it's not going to be a good use of your time. My best tip for that is like, think of the main focus, the main elements in your design. So guys, I've got a couple of fonts here, and I'm just going to do what I advise you guys, and I'm going to pause on that one. There's still more elements of the image itself that I haven't done yet. So I'm going to focus on some of those. Because as I said, as soon as you start, the more elements you add, the more you need to make sure they're actually complementing each other, that they're actually working well together. And you can waste a lot of time finding your best font and tweaking that. And I just highly recommend that you don't get so waylaid and distracted by that before you actually start adding more of the elements. So here, I'm adding like some hair. And again, I'm not gonna put my name out for the legitimacy of this, but this is like a part of the song. So this is another direct reference to the song, and the lyrics will make sense from hearing it. And you know, the good thing about this element, when I was discussing with a client, was like, we can see what it looks with it. We can see what it looks like without it. And it's as simple as that. And we could have a version with it, we could have a version without it. It's not actually something too difficult to do. So here, you know, try to give it the skeleton of the hair. And that first one, it didn't have enough to show these little ripples. There weren't enough of these bumps. So now I'm gonna try that again. I'm gonna try and edit that, make it a lot clearer. So here we go. I'm just gonna go around this whole thing again, just using my pencil tool and my computer mouse, and we're gonna go around and try and just stay as close to the skull as we can, because otherwise it's gonna take tweaking with the pencil tool. And guys, I think I don't know, I think this is gonna be a goodish place to pause. So, you know, we've made this first digital part of this cover design. We've based it off of that real photograph scan image of the X-ray. We've got a couple of versions of this drink going down the throat. We've got the version with the hair. We've toyed with some different fonts and color schemes. And yeah, we're gonna leave that for this video. And next time we're gonna just look at further development into this design, guys. I just wanna thank you guys for being here. Thanks for checking in. Look out for my next video on this. And subscribe if you want to see more or you like the videos I'm posting. Comment if you have any questions, thoughts, ideas that you're exploring. And yeah, thanks for joining, and see you guys next time.